Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. This is a Q&A with Musty, Bruce, or Goose, and me, King Cord 1. How's it going, Musty?
Not too bad. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Got this sweet background going, right?
Yeah, looks. I love the combination of the flags. Very nice.
Yeah, I hastily found that last minute on Google Images. Just for us.
I appreciate it.
Good. Something's going on with the Skype, it looks like.
Yeah, I know. I just noticed. I seem to have gone a bit 8-bit and frozen for some reason.
Yeah, that's weird.
It looks fine on the Skype itself, though.
On your Skype?
Yeah, I'm not. It's not frozen on this end.
It must be my end. Let's give it a minute. It'll probably fix itself.
It's okay. It can be like those when you're talking to like the news anchor in the field, and it's just a picture of me.
Yeah, like they're on a phone call or something.
Yeah, it's like I'm in like a war zone and like something's happened.
Oh, there it goes.
Is it? Oh, okay, cool. We'll put back in on my end. Ah, there we go.
There you are.
Look at that beard. Look at it.
Look at that sexy beard you got going on.
Yeah, I was combing it just while we were waiting because I was very I was being a bit of a prude and taking a picture of myself and put it on the Instagram. Say, hey, come check out the podcast. And then went, my beard looks terrible. Where's my comb? So.
That's just like me. I got a brush and a comb here too.
I look like I was fucked for a hedge backwards until about 20 seconds ago, and then now I'm pristine.
Yeah, the bearded podcast.
Wasn't enough. Yeah, the bearded.
All right, well, Musty and I are here. We're doing some Q&As because obviously we're not doing D&D right now. Nixit has a special family dinner to go to, and before, I'm sure, is getting lucky with a lady, so we're doing a Q&A. So
maybe we should just ring him and piss him off while he's halfway through.
Yeah, you think we should ring him through Skype?
Yeah, maybe at some point. I mean, he did say he would drop in if he could, but
Yeah. Hopefully he can drop in sometime before he goes to his dinner. Bread, butter, and beards. The podcast.
That's a beautiful sentence right there.
Yeah.
3 of my favorite things: bread, butter, and beards.
How do you feel about Obama attacking Trump's attacks?
Well, I'm sad because it kind of reminds us when the United States had a president that could string a sentence together. So there's that.
Yeah.
It's nice to have consent sentences and things that actually make sense. I think that Obama will probably go down in history as a guy that fucked up a lot, but because the next guy was so bad, everyone just forgets that. Everyone forgets his kill lists and the shit that he pulled in Afghanistan and the stuff with Bin Laden and Libya and everything else. Because from me being a kind of a person looking through the glass into your kind of snow globe of doom that's going on over there at the moment.
Yeah,
it's interesting because I was never a fan of Obama. I think it needed to happen. I think absolutely a president of color was way overdue. But he was as corporate as a Democrat will ever be, and people just let that shit slide. It's the usual kind of tribal politics. The same thing that's happening now, where Republicans are kind of whistling and looking around and going, "Yep, we can't see what's going on here. It's not like we didn't pull this shit when you guys are in power."
Yeah.
But it's. Yeah, I think I mean, he has every right. He's an ex-president to talk shit, but you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget the shit you pulled yourself.
Yeah.
You ain't squeaky clean. Just because you're not a rambling orange twat does not mean that you do not have your own skeletons in your closet that you need to kind of air out. But That's my 10 cents in that, or 10p as it is over
here. Mango says, yeah, it's easy to put him up on a mountain when Trump's in charge.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could put anyone. You could put the fucking White House cat up on a pedestal at this point. I mean, it's I would take a meow meow any day over a fucking. It's very wet. Look out, Carolinas. The wet's coming.
It's tremendously wet.
It's just like literally, my 7-year-old could out debate him on anything, on any given subject.
Yeah.
It just the only thing that Trump knows how to do is type in capitals. He's very good at that, and just lie. I mean, it's the problem is there are things I don't necessarily disagree with him about. I agree. I agree with him on NAFTA. I definitely agree with him on NAFTA. I would bet everything that I own that he doesn't understand why NAFTA's bad. I just think he just goes, well, Obama liked it, so fuck him. It's just, it's like he has like a little checkpoint that he keeps in his drawer, and he opens it up every now and again and goes, did he like it? Did he like it? He did? No, don't like it.
Yeah. It was just. It was funny this morning when I saw that. Like it wasn't even in the White House, was it? It wasn't even in the office. It was just like some random ass desk. And they're like, how do you feel about the hurricane hitting North Carolina? And he's like, I know it's going to be wet. It's going to be tremendously wet. It's going to be windy. And I was like, this is my president. I'm so fucking embarrassed.
Imagine he wasn't the president of the United States of America. Imagine he was a weatherman. And when asked what's going to happen, he went, it's going to be wet, tremendously wet. Back to you, Steve. And it's just like, okay, that's the last time Donald's going to be calling the weather. Okay, next up. I mean, it makes me feel, I mean, we have a tyrannical right-wing kind of government over here. But I've got to say, the news does make me feel a little bit better every time I read something that goes on, because I'm just like, it could be worse. We could have a confirmed Muppet as the leader of our country.
It's strange how they don't have a Muppet for him already.
I know. Well, we used to have a thing in the UK called Spitting Image, which was a very political puppet show. So it was basically they were very it was like caricatures. They were very grossly created, so they didn't look nice. They were very kind of almost horror-like. They were really, really bad.
Were they like the puppets used in Genesis music video for oh fuck, what was that song?
Oh yes, it was. Those are them. Those they actually used the Spitting Image. Those are the exact dummies that they used on the actual show.
Yeah,
that's actually them. But it was very satirical, very political. But they would tear Donald Trump a fucking new one if that show. I wish that show was still around, because it was glorious to watch. It was so cutting. They pulled no punches whatsoever, and that's what I kind of like about British kind of comedy. We don't give two shits about calling anyone anything. Even though we're quite a prudish country overall, but when it comes to politics, it's like the gloves are off. You can say whatever the fuck you like. It does not matter.
I think that's why a lot of British comedy works over here in America, because we wish our comedy was like that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true. I mean, you've got one of my actual local countrymen. I can't remember his name. Why can't I remember his name? John Oliver. So John Oliver's from literally the next town over from where I was actually born in Birmingham. So, but yeah, he didn't do too well over here, but America loves him, absolutely loves him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he was great on the Daily Show. I mean, I mean, the Daily Show for me was like an absolute. It's shameful that one of the most insightful programs came after South Park and was presented by a stand-up comedian. It was, but yeah, the Daily Show. I'm not too hot on it now. I don't like. I can't remember the name of the guy who presents it now. The South African guy, Noah. Yeah, I'm not too. I think it's become too punchliney.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with I said I've got Alzheimer's today. What the hell was the name of the guy that did it before him?
Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart was a titan. I mean, he really knew his shit. So he was. he really knew his stuff. So you could kind of believe him a little bit more. Noah was just a bit more of like we'll wheel out the funny guy with the accent to make some quips.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Jon Stewart now is I think he's producing the Late Show or the Tonight Show with
oh really? Stephen Colbert?
yeah, Stephen Colbert. I think he's one of the
Yeah.
like main producers over there.
He's another guy. I mean, I kind of wish he didn't. I kind of wish Colbert didn't have that show and he could actually speak his mind a little bit more. I mean, he obviously doesn't hold back on his opinion, but I think if you looked at him on the Tonight Show, on the Daily Show with Jon Stewart when he was on there, and he had that right wing alter ego that he used to have on there, which was funny as fuck. But you can tell he has to reel it in a little bit, and I kind of wish he didn't have to because he's so articulate and so intelligent. But now it's just become like he's just become like, well, how many times can I say Donald Trump in a show? And I think that's kind of the wrong way of doing it. Your media seems to it's almost like all of the news has dried up. There is no other news now. It's just like Trump Watch. What did the stupid fuck say today?
Pretty much. They should make a show called Trump Watch.
They should.
It's actually funny because like I watched the Tonight Show when Stephen Colbert first started.
Yeah.
And I watched it a few nights, but it was literally like, what did Trump do? And then I stopped watching it for like months. And then I was like, I was channel surfing, came across it, and all of a sudden it was like, it was about Trump again. I was like, oh, I didn't miss anything.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I just noticed what Mango Mongi said, racist beaker, which just tickled me.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. I love John Oliver. Trevor Noah, but Jon Stewart is a king amongst me. He was. I mean, he was the guy that people were scared to debate.
Yeah.
He just knew everything. Annoyingly, he was just brilliant. And I'm sad that he wasn't around to he isn't around to kind of, because I think he would hold him to account probably more than anybody. Because even CNN, I mean, you watch what CNN does, they just kind of toe the Democratic line. They don't. Oh. Wow, what happened there?
I'm gonna see if turning this off, because we went to the display capture instead.
Okay.
Because I think that's what keeps fucking with it.
Turn off the India and see what happens.
Because you keep getting like pixelated and freezing, and I think maybe that's
maybe.
But anyways, was it John Oliver? He has a show on HBO now, right? Like the news last week or something.
Yeah, last week tonight with John Oliver.
Last week.
It's brilliant. It's brilliantly done because he does a deep dive. I mean, so much of media nowadays is kind of all we have 7 minutes or 5 minutes. Right, you two guys, you're an extreme opponent to this person's view. Shout over each other for 5 minutes. Oh, well, we didn't learn anything here, but tune in next week. And then that's it. They move on with their day. Whereas John Oliver actually really breaks down a subject and deep dives and spends 15, 20, sometimes 30 minutes on a particular subject. And I think that's far more harmful for the people that he's speaking against, and obviously far more educational for those that maybe don't know what goes on. His work on gun control was fantastic that I watched. His stuff on kind of lobbying against the government was fantastic, and that you can't help but admire. But yeah, it's ironic that comedy shows kind of actually hold people to account far more than kind of paid journalists, which I find funny.
John Oliver is probably my overall favorite. It's such a fun way to learn information.
Well, yeah, it's true. He has it with a punchline and a joke and a few fucks here and there. So, you're always going to remember stuff like that. You can't help it.
Yeah.
You can't. But there's another guy that used to be on the Daily Show. Was it completely? I can't remember his name after, but he has his own show, but he plays kind of almost like the Colbert character, like a right wing guy. And what's it called now? I'm gonna have to look him up. It's gonna bug me that, but he's really terrible personally. I think he's on Comedy Central as well. He's got a weird sounding surname, but I would check him out just to kind of look at how not to do a news show. because it's kind of like he's nicked. Oh, that's him, Jordan Klepper. That's the guy.
Oh, I
He's
never
kind
even.
of nicked lots of things from like the Daily Show, obviously, because
Yeah.
he was a writer on there and he was brilliant on there in actual fact.
Yeah.
But he just it doesn't seem very genuine. It's yeah, I'm not a big fan of it personally, but
Have you watched I Love You America with Sarah Silverman?
no.
It's on Hulu.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I'll have to check that out. I'm a
it's
fan.
pretty
I like
entertaining.
Sarah Silverman. I like Sarah Silverman a lot, actually. I think
Yeah.
she gets a bit of a rough end of the stick a lot of times, but yeah, I like her. But
Yeah.
then, have you seen anything of was it This Is America with another one of my countrymen, Sacha Baron Cohen?
I have not, but I do love Sasha Baron. Well, how you say his last name?
Sacha Baron Cohen, yeah. He
Yeah.
basically, I mean, he's actually being sued at the moment by Roy Moore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he see you later, shout, take care. Because basically I mean, the thing about Sasha is he plays he's basically got these four characters. One's like an Israeli right wing gun advocate, and then he's got like this like left field mung bean soy latte chomping motherfucker, and then he's basically all these characters, and he got Roy Moore. He had this device that could pick up on if someone was a paedophile or not.
Oh, really?
And he waved it over himself, and there was no reaction. And then he waved it over Roy Moore, and it just started going off, and he couldn't stop it from going off. I was howling, absolutely howling. Roy Moore like up to the left after a few minutes because he just it was, and now he's suing him for like $95 million or something ridiculous like that. So, but yeah, I would say check it out. I can't remember what it's on. But he gets some people to do some fucking ridiculous things. He was like teaching people that if you're about to be beheaded, to like bite the dick of the person holding the sword and don't let go until they drop it. So he's got like this right wing politician with a dildo in his mouth saying, "I'm gonna bite it. I'm gonna bite it." Fuck.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I would say definitely check it out. He's getting a lot of stick for it, but from the right wing, the left wing, a lot of he did Bernie Sanders, and Bernie Sanders didn't really bite on at all. He didn't accept it. He came on as like this like right wing guy that was arguing for corporate expenditure and stuff like that. And Bernie, just after a little while, was just like, "Yeah, I think I'm going to leave now. I'm going to see you later." That was it. But all the right wing guys were like, "Yeah, let's do it. But, hey,
Oh, wow. You guys have any questions for us? I have questions. I have questions for you.
Go on, ask a question.
All right. Have you've been to America, right?
I have, yes.
Have you had pizza here?
I have, yeah. Long time ago. I've been to Florida a few times. Never done New York. Been to Georgia a few times as well. But yeah, pizza in this country is diabolical. It's literally the work of Satan.
In England
and
Britain?
In England is not the well. I say like every day. I mean, we have pizza, we have Domino's, we have Papa John's. Although Papa John's is really non-existent in this country, people don't fuck with it at all, really.
Oh, yeah.
Domino's and pizza are kind of the two go-to, but then we have like a billion of these like cheap £3, or I suppose that would be like $1 or $2 at the most, pizza joints that just serve these nasty plasticky fucking botulism infested bits of dough with cheese and sauce on it.
Wow.
So yeah, but you can get some really good pizza, but you're gonna pay like, I don't know, equivalent of like $15 for like a solo serving of this pizza, but it'd be incredible. But
So
you've
like
really
one
got to pay for it.
slice?
Yeah, no, you get like an individual, like a 4-inch pizza. So it has
Okay.
like 4 small-ish slices, but you're going to pay through the nose for it. Yeah, it's not cheap at all. But I've had pizza in the States, and I I mean, I like it. I know it's terrible for me,
Yeah.
but but yeah, no. Well, what was your question?
Well, I always imagined pizza over in Europe or England or anywhere else besides America would be a lot better. But I mean, like I've had Chicago pizza, I've had New York pizza, and California pizza, and they all taste good to me because I'm fat. But like I would imagine someone like you would have like true Italian pizza, right?
Yeah. The Neapolitan pizza, which is literally just olive oil, fresh tomato. It's San Manzano tomatoes. What you can see, I trained in cooking when I was younger, so it has to be. There's actually like a board of pizza aficionados, so you're not allowed to call it pizza unless it meets certain criteria. So you have to use the right tomatoes, you have to use the right cheese, the right sort of dough, X, Y, and Z. So yeah, I've had like really high end pizza, and it's incredible. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with a cheap slice of pizza every now and again. I think it's great. Although we do have something over here called a doner kebab pizza, which you probably Americans on the whole, or friends of mine that are Americans, don't seem to be big fans of lamb. Not quite sure. I don't know if it's something that is it's not really everywhere or only in certain parts of America. But a lot of my friends, especially friends from like Florida and that, really don't like lamb at all.
Really?
But basically we have a kebab, which essentially is like lamb. It's basically every part of the lamb that they can't put in anything else. They attach it to they mold it into this shape like a cone, and then they put it on a spit, and then they shave bits off. It's delicious, but atrocious for you. And well, yeah, kind of like a gyro, but far less quality-wise is not there. It really isn't. It's like hips, lips, and eyebrows mushed into a ball and then spit roasted and put on it. But we basically shave it, put on a pizza, and then we add this thing called burger sauce, which is kind of like this orangey, like nuclear-looking fucking sauce. And that's a massive thing over here. A huge thing over here. Yeah, kebabs are really big in the UK for like drunk food. They actually they're mainly Turkish, but they originate in Germany. It sounds really bizarre, but it's the go-to drunk food for most British people. It's either that or a burger. But again, our burgers are very different to your burgers. Your burgers kind of have to hit a certain standard, whereas in the UK, it's kind of like dog food with onions on it and cheese. And then any old red sauce. I mean, it's not even Heinz half the time. It's like some random fucking, I don't know, off-brand, filled with sugar bullshit.
Looks like I didn't fix the Skype problem.
Yeah, I've just stopped the NDI on my side as well, just to see if that will help clear it up a little bit.
Okay. So is your burger sauce kind of like the sauce they have in Good Burger movie? The movie Good Burger?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's kind of like is it In and Out with their spread? It's kind of like that a little bit, but it just tastes like sadness. It really does. It doesn't taste good at all. There's no. Yeah, we make burgers I make burgers in our house from scratch, like once a week. We're big fans of burgers, so I make usually like just standard kind of burger patty with American cheese and then lettuce, tomato, onion, and then ketchup and mustard. I'm really kind of classic with that sort of thing. But we have like this burger explosion where people just want to put on as much shit as possible. Kind of like Five Guys, I suppose, in a way, because Five Guys have like 30 different condiments you can shove on a burger.
Yeah.
Which over here, I mean, you're talking, it's about $17 for a burger. In Five Guys over here, they're very, very expensive.
Wow, that is very expensive.
Super expensive over here.
I don't remember the price at our Five Guys, but I don't think it's $17 for a burger.
Yeah, it's super expensive over here. I mean, in general, because our meat kind of has to meet a certain standard. So
yeah, that makes sense.
It's always more expensive. It's always more expensive over here, especially beef and stuff like that. But yeah, pizza wise, we have also. I mean, we have like fried eggs on our pizzas over here, and fucking seafood pizzas are quite big over here, like prawns and fucking calamari and shit like that. But it's generally just drunk students because they have like special offers and shit. So
yeah, let me catch up here in the chat. Blah blah blah. Mango asks, "Is your burger sauce Thousand Island dressing?"
No, it's not. It's kind of like that, but it's I don't even know what's in our burger sauce, to be honest with you. It's just this random shit you see. You get it more in the north of the country than you do down south.
Yeah.
Although up north you also get gravy. Um, on like we put like gravy on chips and cheese and
Mm-hmm.
gravy on chips. It's almost like a poutine almost. So you get like bits of cheese and gravy all over your chips, and they do it on burgers as well. They'll dip anything in
So
fucking
it's like
gravy.
a Salisbury steak on a bun.
Yeah, kind of almost like a reconstructed sloppy Joe. So instead of all like the mincemeat, it's just like a burger in gravy in sauce,
Yeah.
like sloshed around and dipped in.
That's like our Salisbury steak TV dinners. It's
Yeah.
just like an extra burger patty that they had at the factory, and they just put in some brown gravy, and they're like, "There you go, it's a Salisbury steak."
Although I will say our gravy is very, very different to the gravy I've had in the States.
Oh yeah.
It's like a tradition over here. Like every Sunday you have like a Sunday roast. So you'll have like a roast piece of meat with like proper roast potatoes that are in like dripping. So they're like super, super crispy. Usually have Yorkshire pudding and then it's gravy. So that's a big deal in this country. It's kind of like our staple way of making our countrymen fat, essentially. So
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
I mean, your gravies seem to be quite thick, whereas ours is
It depends on
not
where
as
you
thick.
go.
Yeah. I mean, I've had like biscuits and gravy and stuff like that, and it's really bizarre. It's really
Yeah, biscuits.
that strikes me.
I'm not a fan of biscuits and gravy.
Yeah, they're called scones over in our country.
Yeah.
It's almost like a cake. It doesn't make much sense to me at
Yeah.
all. That.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've just noticed Mango Mongi asks what are standards. America doesn't get it. It's very true. It's over here we have Brexit, and a lot of kind of right wingers say, well, it doesn't matter because we'll strike up a deal with America, and literally everyone turns around and goes, well, the meat standards do not hit our kind of lower level standards. So it wouldn't pass. It actually wouldn't be legal to serve a lot of American meat in this country.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit of a stumbling block with the whole thing, because things like chlorinated chicken that you guys have over there and stuff like that, it's actually illegal to have that over here.
So what do you guys? That's illegal, obviously, in
Mhm.
Britain. So what do you guys do with the leftover chicken carcasses? Do you just toss them out?
Generally, yeah, it's a
Turn it into
it's a
glue?
bit the farming industry over here is really sad, to be honest with you, because it's the prices have been driven so far down by kind of huge supermarkets we have over here. So we have kind of like three major supermarkets: Tesco, Sainsbury's, and Asda, and they buy in such bulk that the overheads can't be met by the farmers now. So it's really fucking sad, to be honest with you. And ironically, we're leaving Europe, where we need a farming industry, and in actual fact, leaving Europe is probably going to decimate our farming industry even more, because we get so much help from Europe, monetarily wise, to help keep our farmers going. That's all going to go come March next year. So we're all pretty much fucked. So I will have a PO box that you can kind of send me like crackers and stuff
Okay.
when the apocalypse happens, because it's literally we're going to turn into like this. I'm surprised we won't like hook a motor up to the bottom of the country and just start driving around Europe, attacking countries for food. It's gonna get really fucking bad.
I don't know if you want anything from America though.
Hey man, a couple of weeks without food, I'll take a chlorinated chicken any day of the week, to be honest with you. But
Oh, that's great.
but your guys' food's so expensive over here anyway, because we have like these like novelty aisles where we'll have like Twinkies and Butterfingers and like Lucky Charms, but you wouldn't. I mean, how much is like a box of cereal roughly over your way? Say like Lucky Charms or any of that kind.
I mean,
of
if you're gonna pay like name brand, it's probably $6-7.
Wow. Okay, so over here, one of our most famous kind of shops, Selfridges, sells Lucky Charms like it's like the holy grail of like, look at this,
Oh
look
yeah,
at this beautiful thing from America.
like there's
And
actual treasure inside.
Yeah, literally, and they charge £12 a box, which is around about $15. Yeah, with the conversion, roughly about $15
Wow.
for one box of cereal. Like Hershey's Kisses, which, to be quite honest, are fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
But they charge the earth, and people buy them. They buy them all day long.
They're probably
It's
not
so-
like good. They're like probably like the smallest size they can put on the shelves, right?
Oh, they're tiny. Yeah, they're tiny. I mean, it's like I remember the first time I went to the States, and I actually bought a Big Gulp, and I asked for one because it was the novelty factor. I was like, yeah, I'll order one, and then literally this woman handed me this child-sized cup. Like, what would you like? I was like, okay, and it was literally, I think it was like 2.5 liters of fucking liquid.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's. I mean, the biggest, a large over here is like 600 mils, 750 mils, something like that. So it's not even a liter, and that's considered huge over here. But you go to the States, that's pussy sized compared to the stuff you get over there. I mean, I remember going to supermarkets. It was like we were having like a party at a friend's house. It was like, oh, we just got to get some chips and stuff, and he grabbed like these Cheetos, and the bag was literally the size of a dog. And I'm looking at him going, where are we? What is this? Because it just doesn't exist in the UK. Just doesn't exist like that. We don't have things like that at all.
A bag of Cheetos. There's like it's actually possible here in America to visit like a Fritos factory and get giant ass like garbage bags full of Cheetos. And it's actually, you would actually save money just going directly to the factory and getting giant ass bags full of Cheetos than it was to just buy it at the store.
See, that sounds like good commerce, to be honest with you. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing that. It's just over here we have cash and carry, so there's specific stores that sell to like other shops, which members of the public can go to, but only if you work in specific things. So if you have like a government job, you're allowed to go to like Costco and stuff like that. But your average everyday guy just can't do that. And there they have like crazy large things like toilet rolls or birthday. I mean, Costco for me has always been really random in this country anyway. Just I'll never see an aisle where you'll have like work boots, birthday cake, underpants, and then fucking deodorant all in like one aisle, and you're just like, where am I? What's going on here? But yeah, general supermarket stuff we don't really, size wise, we're pretty modest, to be honest with you.
Hey guy. Oh, that's so like.
Hey there.
Do tourists come in and they go down those like the American islands and are like, what the fuck is it? Why am I overcharged for like fun size over here?
Oh yeah, no. The funniest thing you could ever do is like have American friends of mine, when we came over, we went to like a McDonald's.
Yeah.
And you order like a quarter pound or something, and they literally look at you and go, "What is this shit?" It's like, are we in like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Did you shrink my burger? What is this? It's really random, because I remember going to McDonald's for the first time and looking up and going, "Oh, this actually looks like what the picture says." Not like over here where we look at it and go, "Oh, it's like its little brother."
Thank you.
Hit over the head or something.
Thank you.
Thanks for that host, Nixit. Yeah, that's so basically like the quarter pounder over there would be like a double cheeseburger.
Kind of, yeah.
Basically,
it's not. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Burger King seems to be a little bit closer to the size over here, although Burger King they're dying on their arse in this country. They're really not doing well at all. I don't know what they're like over in the States, but they're really not they're really not doing well. McDonald's definitely has the kind of monopoly over here, but because they give you pretty decent-ish portions, and they're cheap, whereas most places, because the price of food over here is going up and up and up, people they're struggling. They're really, really struggling.
Kahaya says a lot of people in her hometown were complaining about being served raw meat at McDonald's.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's kind of like a McDonald's steak tartare or something.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, if it was a McChicken sandwich or something, then I'd be furious.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably still end up going to McDonald's sometime.
Yeah, probably. I'll probably go there tomorrow. Although there was a news report today in China that there's a really famous. It's kind of like the McDonald's of China, and a pregnant lady was tucking into like they serve like broth bowls with like noodles and stuff like that in it, and found a cooked dead rat in it.
Oh,
It was just like, and their stock has plummeted.
wow.
But I guarantee
Oh,
there'll be
dead
someone
rat.
they'll read that in China and just go, yeah, I could go with it for a bowl of broth. Let's go.
Yeah. It's so damn convenient.
I know.
You're
I
like,
mean,
it's
the rat's
cheap.
an extra bit of protein, I suppose. It's not the worst thing in the world. Could
Yeah.
be,
There's a
but hey,
McDonald's
next
like every other block. I mean,
oh yeah, we have shit tons. We even have McDonald's that deliver now over here as well, which is just a.
yeah. We just
It's
got
almost
the Uber Eats, so now McDonald's can deliver to us too.
yeah.
It's
I
so
mean,
crazy.
a lot of our larger drive-throughs are all 24 hours a day. So even on
Mhm.
Christmas Day, they're open. They never shut.
Yeah. Some poor
Never shut.
asshole still has to work on Christmas
I
Day.
know. Could you almost want to drive around there just to give them a hug? Say, don't
Yeah.
worry, it'll get better.
Yeah.
In a few years, you'll realize
You want to go buy him a hot chocolate.
there's a better way. Take the red pill. Yes, McDonald's delivery. I mean, it's even by McDonald's themselves. It's not even like via like Deliveroo or Uber Eats or anything like that. They will just.
God,
Um,
what happened
yeah.
to McDonald's tartare, Kaya?
Exactly. See how quickly it switches? You're like raw meat. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna roll the dice.
It's like shit. They're gonna drive it to me.
Exactly.
Might as well.
I mean, what's the worst that'll happen? I'll open up, see it's raw, and say, "Can you cook my burger, please?"
Don't worry, I got a stove. You can cook it here.
It doesn't surprise me. It's like those kind of the Korean barbecue places you go to where they give you all the raw meat and you kind of cook it at the table yourself.
Yeah. I'm not in my hometown. I'm in Lincoln.
Yeah, you know, it's really funny. I was actually looking at Nebraska today. I was faffing about on Google Maps.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if you know this. My country is you can drive from one end of the country to the other in roughly about 7 hours, 7-8 hours.
Oh yeah.
And I looked up. I was like, oh, let me just have a look at Nebraska. And I went, oh, okay, how long will it take to get from Nebraska to say Vegas or something? I said, it doesn't look too far on the map. Let me dial that shit in. And I was like, 15 hours, 1,000 miles. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I've actually done that drive before.
Have you really?
I was really young, but yeah, I was with my parents.
I couldn't do that. We don't anything more than like 3 hours, and we moan, we bitch and moan, and
Yeah.
we're not good at traveling at all because we're such a tiny country. We're not used to all this like long haul shit. I mean,
Yeah.
I would fly if I lived in America. I would have to fly or just stay, just make sure that my McDonald's doesn't serve raw meat and you know.
Us Americans love to travel. They love to drive their cars.
Yeah, but they love to travel in their own country. They don't like traveling anywhere else. It's just like I'll drive for like 3 days to get somewhere, but I won't hop on a plane and go, oh, another country, different culture. Hello.
I mean, I would love to do that. I'd love to jump on a plane and go to a different country. I mean, I've only been to only so many states here, but after you've seen like,
come to London.
I want to come to London. I want to go see London.
Yeah, come to London. I'll give you the guided tour.
Yeah,
like that.
That'd
That's
be
where all the
great.
stabbings are. This is Big Ben.
Don't you guys have a lot of like knife crime?
Yeah, we have shit tons of knife crime at the moment. It's getting pretty silly, but
Yeah.
they've cut like 40,000 police jobs over the last like 5 years. So you know it's kind of it's going to happen if you remove frontline policemen from doing frontline policeman things, then shit's going to get real. So yeah, it's just a byproduct of it. I mean, it's happening a lot. I mean, but it's happening, but within a certain, not even a demographic. It's happening. It's not like people are just going out and randomly stabbing strangers.
Yeah.
It's you better have Cal. It's just simply gangs. It's an initiation thing. So it's basically it's become the norm again. But I grew up in the 90s where we had a lot of gun crime. We had very famously a huge shooting in the UK where a brother killed his own sister indiscriminately because he was trying to kill another gang member, but his sister was walking out the same club as he was and was stood right behind him. He had a Mac 10 as well, so like an Uzi, and sprayed the alleyway. Didn't even hit the guy he was supposed to hit, but then killed like 4 other people. So it was, and then the police really fucking cracked down on it. It was like blanket, there's no shits given. Everyone's getting pulled in. It's going to happen with the knife crime stuff. It will happen, but it's still, on comparison, it's about the same as the US per capita. So it's roughly around the same, but it's definitely a problem because we're just not used to that sort of level of unrest. We're a pretty placid country overall, apart from kind of like drunken punch-ups after a beer or two. But yeah.
So like, can you tell me what a gang would like normally be in London?
Well, you've got. It depends. London, you have predominantly gangs are either Afro-Caribbean or Turkish.
Okay.
Depending on what part of London you're from. South London is predominantly black. Although, I mean, don't get me wrong, you do have you do have white people within those gangs, and you do have white gangs per se, but London not so much. You have that in the kind of central to north of the country, simply because you don't have as much of a black element within the north of England. It's really bizarre. You go to like seaside towns up north, and there'll be a black family there, and it's literally like everyone's gone, oh my god, what is this? We've not seen this before. And I've actually seen people come up and touch people's hair because they've literally never seen a black person before. It's really bizarre to kind of watch. Whereas I grew up in very rough, very urban areas from day dot. I lived in inner city Birmingham where I was born, and then lived in Leeds, Manchester, and now living in London for the last 12 years. So I've always lived in really cosmopolitan, really mixed, melting pot kind of situations. But yeah, London's South London is very much kind of Afro-Caribbean element, and then you've got North London. You have like again Afro-Caribbean, and you have these splatterings of kind of Turkish Lebanese gangs, and it's places can be rough. It really can be. I mean, I was kind of frontline a little bit. Because I worked with the police within the transport industry, so I worked on buses and basically prosecuted people that didn't pay their fare or was violent against staff and stuff like this. So we would work with police and basically flood buses, take people off, check the tickets if they didn't have the right tickets, we process them and this, that, and the other. And I've met people that have actually killed people. I've met a guy that had a shotgun in his backpack. Was really blasé about it. The police stopped him and was like, oh, is there anything you want to tell us now? And he goes, yeah, there's a shotgun in my bag. And everyone was like, ha, 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 very funny. And then kind of opened his bag and went, telling the truth, okay. So like everyone kind of pounced on him at that point. But yeah, I mean, I've been pepper sprayed a couple of times, had knives pulled on me a couple of times, but it was just part of the course.
Yeah.
I grew up in an extremely rough area, so I to my own detriment, because I didn't. It's not I wasn't fearful of it. I just reacted how 19-year-old me would have reacted, which was basically, come on then, if you're going to do it, do it. Whereas that's probably not the best way to react to somebody who's wanting to slice you into or punch you in the face or something. So I wasn't the best inspector. I'll be the first to admit it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, it's either that or you run away, and I'm assuming you'd be trapped on a bus, right?
Yeah, I mean, you had two types of buses. You have double deckers, which essentially, yeah, you're trapped upstairs. Or you have what we call bendy buses, which are huge, long buses that could hold like 140 people, and it was just like a long corridor with seats on it. Mm-hmm. But I was the dick that would go on there late at night in a rough area by myself, just for the fun of it. It was,
yeah.
Looking back at it now, I was a stupid fuck. I really was, because I had kids, I had a wife, and I was out there like having fun, like annoying young people in the middle of Harlesden, which is a place that most people wouldn't go in the daytime, let alone do it at fucking night. So.
Wow.
Oh, you've been to London, Laureline? I didn't know that. Whereabouts did you go?
I think she went to. Well, she's seen the castle.
Windsor Castle.
Windsor Castle.
Yeah, that's not in. It's just outside of London, a little bit outside of
Yeah.
London. That's the thing. Weird thing. A lot of Americans just think it's like there's London and then that's it. There's just London.
Yeah.
Everything is in London. There's no other part of every like Manchester, Liverpool, like suburbs within within London.
Yeah.
It's but yeah, it's a cool. I mean, it's
Americans
the
don't even know
most,
their own states really, so
It's true.
don't take
Well,
it personal.
It's the most London is the most visited place on the planet. It's strange to think that because we're such a tiny country, but
Yeah.
we have something like 4 million people visit London every year as tourists. It's crazy.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that show? It's on Netflix called Dark Tourist.
I have. It's on my watch list. I literally. I was going to watch it the other day, and then there was something else that I think I went on a bit of an Anthony Bourdain bender because I'm still kind of a little bit bummed out by his kind of passing. So because I was a huge Anthony Bourdain fan, so I
Yeah.
kind of went on a bit of a deep dive. I was literally about to watch The Dark Tourist, but it's something that I'm really, really interested in.
It's pretty good. I actually binged it within one day. There was an episode where they went to I don't think it was in London. I think it was outside of London. I can't remember where it was. But basically, they like reenact the World War II.
Oh yeah, we have. It's called this. Well, we have a couple of things. We have like these historical societies. I suppose I'm trying to think of what the equivalent would be in America. Like the Renaissance Fair kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we have two. We have like the World War reenactment guys, and then we have what was called the Sealed Knot, which is the Civil War back in like the 1600s. Kind of reenactments. But yeah, no, we have them all over the country. In actual fact, there's tons and tons. But we have like 3 war museums in London because I mean London was pretty massively bombed. It was level. Most of London was actually leveled during the Blitz. To be honest with you, it was.
Yeah.
That's why London looks so strange because you have these buildings that are like hundreds of years old, and then you have these buildings that look completely out of place simply because there's no buildings there anymore because they were all blown up. And then we had the IRA in the 70s and 80s, and they blew up a fair chunk of London and Manchester and Birmingham as well. So it's.
Yeah, I think they mentioned that in the episode how London kind of looks a little weird because like the bombings from the war and everything and stuff like that. But they had the reenactment, and he like somehow like got a role of an American soldier, and like
Oh yeah.
he's like at one moment he forgets that it's a reenactment and it feels like it's real.
Yeah.
And he forgets that they're shooting blanks and stuff, so he really thinks like he's getting shot at, and he's like panicking the fuck out.
Oh my god! Yeah,
They're all yelling at him. They're like, "Get the fuck up!"
It happens at It happens at loads of them. It's like you have like the Civil War reenactments where someone will get shot and they go down, and you'll see them 2 minutes later. They'll like open an eye and then get back up again and then start shooting again. And it usually descends into like actual physical punch ups. It's really funny to watch because the people that because you had 2 sides. You had the Cavaliers, which were kind of like the on the side of the king, and then you had the Puritans or the Roundheads, which were the kind of the uprisers. And the people that generally play like a Roundhead or a Cavalier are usually ones that support it on that side, so they actually do really hate each other. So it's quite comical to watch sometimes because you'll just see these like drunken beer-bellied Englishmen get really annoyed because they got killed early, so they want to take it out on somebody else, so they'll thwack somebody with their wooden sword. But it's funny.
But there's a moment where like they took a break from the battle so everyone can go have lunch, and he's like, I entered the mess hall, which was just a tent, and it was funny because the Germans were serving up lunch to England and to America. And he asked the guy, he's like, "Isn't it kind of weird that you're feeding England and America here?" And he's like, "We're all people. It's like we all need to eat. Like this is a reenactment, buddy. It's not real."
Well, to be honest with you, that actually did happen quite a bit more than people know in the trenches, both in the First World War and the Second World War. I mean, there's a very famous story of on Christmas Day that the troops actually played football together. And shared Stollen and food, actually exchanged food and gifts which is really bizarre, thinking that how many people died during both wars and how how terrible both of those conflicts were. But to think that even people that apparently hate each other and wanted to kill each other could stop for a couple of hours and have a kickabout with a football and eat a bit of bread together is kind of nice actually to think about that. But yeah, it's actually more accurate than the guy actually probably thinks. But I get his sentiment. It would be very weird fighting against someone and then going, right, what would you like to eat now?
Yeah.
Let me feed you.
Like here's a bratwurst and a beer. Go.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
It's worse things to eat, my friend.
Yeah.
we have the German markets over here every year, and it's my highlight, the bratwurst and beer. Or sometimes the mulled wine. So it's usually really good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good show. You should check it out.
Yeah, no, I definitely will do. It's funny because my kid's just finished his first proper week at secondary school or high school, I suppose you call it over there.
Yeah.
So we all kind of watched a movie tonight. We watched Ready Player One. I don't know if you've actually seen that or not.
I've been trying to watch it. I haven't seen it yet.
I've read the book, although I read the book a while ago, so I kind of forgot some of it. And a lot of people that read the book, like most people that read the books, they always fucking hate the movies when they brought out. But it's such a fun movie. It really, really is. It was really, really entertaining. I generally try and forget about anything that I've read before when I'm going. I try and go into something and go, well, let's pretend that I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. And I tend to find that I enjoy things a lot more. But yeah, Ready Player One, that was something I watched tonight. It was fucking good. Really, really, really good.
So did they have a lot of like video game references and like appearances?
Oh yeah, tons.
Oh yeah,
tons. I mean, I was boggled. I would love to know how much Spielberg paid for licensing alone, because I mean, you had the Halo franchise was in there, Street Fighter franchise was in there, Overwatch was in there, Sonic was in there at some point. I mean, major things like Gremlins, although I suppose he played hands in those, so I suppose he has more access to those licenses than most. But it was just mind-boggling. I had to stop at some points and actually look and go, oh shit, it's that. Oh shit, it's that. Oh shit, it's a cool film because my kid loved it. I mean, he's 11, so he doesn't remember half the shit that was on there. He doesn't know what Back to the Future is really, or he doesn't know Gremlins, because there were some Gremlins in there as well. but he still loved the movie, and I loved the movie because I was going, oh shit, I loved that. I loved that. I loved seeing the turtles in this film. I loved seeing that in this film. The ending's a bit shit. The last like 5 minutes, I literally was like, ugh, felt a bit queasy because of the cavalcade of sugar that was dumped all over the ending of that movie.
Oh, yeah.
But it's still a great watch. It really is good.
So was the main characters like Avatar? Was that like just a brand new one they made up, or was it like Jack Frost?
Essentially, it was just they just penned it as you can go in there and be anything that you wanted to be. So some people went in there and were kind of the sheeple kind of thing. So you had people, they would pick like Iron Man. I'm going to be Iron Man. That's my avatar. And there are some people that would be somewhat, it would look like them, but their hair would be slightly different, or they'd have different color skin and some like that. But it's more like Second Life, that kind of thing, or like an MMO. I suppose that's probably the best way of describing it is like an MMO. But you do have like the kind of the cool kids. There would be like Beetlejuice, or there was like 20 Master Chiefs for obvious reasons, and
at least they were true to that then.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it was just cool. It was cool to see that many things, because I mean, look at Marvel. Marvel and Sony have to share the spoils because Marvel owns the rights, or Disney owns the rights to certain parts of it, and then Sony owns the rights to certain bits of Spider-Man and vice versa. And then you got Deadpool in the middle of that. But it's nice to see like a mishmash of genres and a mishmash of characters that you would literally never see in any other film ever again. And it's only because that book exists that film was actually made. But so yeah, it's a good watch. I understand why people were pissed at it a little bit, but get over it.
I still had to see it. Oh, I didn't even know Kahaya left. Welcome back, Kahaya.
I had to shower.
Yeah.
God.
Well, this is the what? What'd you say? All right, guys, this is a question and answer episode. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put some in the chat there for us.
Yeah, ask anything at all.
Do you have any questions for me, Musty?
Yeah, I was going to ask about, because you were saying me that you. I mean, it's probably going to jump all over the place subject wise, but you were playing the new Spider-Man game, which came out last week. So I was interested on what your thoughts were. How does it compare? Does it live up to the hype?
Okay, so it's a little complicated, but it's probably going to be disappointing to other people. I
love Cal's question. Sorry, just to interject there. Would you bang each other?
Of course we would.
Yeah, of course.
Is it tough to walk around or to function since you guys have 12-inch penises? It is. It's actually longer than 12 inches because I can sometimes step on it or trip. It's so hard to walk around.
Yeah, I mean, mine's used literally to support my prosthetic leg. It's just there as kind of like an extra extra bit of support. So you just wrap it around continuously, and it also makes it look more like a leg as well. So you got like the fleshy bit with the metal bit in the middle. So it's all good.
Oh, that's great.
How do you function, Nix?
Yeah, how do you work with your 12-inch penis?
Do you like hire someone to carry it around in a wheelbarrow?
Wrap it around your waist like a Saiyan.
I couldn't do that. My belly's too big as it is. It just made me look ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'd end up looking like a planet. Look, it's Jupiter. No, it's Jay. It's fine.
All right. Yeah. So I started playing Spider-Man. And I love the game Spider-Man. I love it. But it's buggy. And I think there's kind of this like real kind of problem, especially with new video games coming out, where everything's got to be insanely fucking hard, even if you're playing on easy. And so,
really?
Yeah. So there's some parts, like there's some boss battles where it's just like cheap shot after cheap shot from the boss, or like you swing into something like just automatically for some reason, but. I will say this as a critique too. It has this like familiar feeling that I'm playing one of the Arkham Batmans.
Oh, okay.
Because of the fighting style and the whole Spidey sense thing going on. And kind of like you get the power-ups and a little bit of the puzzles too kind of feel like Arkham-y to me. But that being said, it's also kind of, it's not like Batman with a new skin. It's also kind of like its own game too,
It looks to me, I mean, the only thing I would kind of critique it on, because I mean, like I said to you, I played it at Gamescom last year, so I played an early code of the actual game. And the only thing that kind of I can see with myself is getting the repetitive nature of it, is the kind of swing, punch, swing, punch, and then it kind of, I don't know if that's how you found with the game, or whether it's something that you don't find at all in actual fact. But does it feel like a repetitive? Does it repeat itself a lot, or do you feel there's like a lot more there?
I can feel the repetitiveness in it, like you swing from here, punch a bunch of people till they're all dead, then you go to the next objective, punch them until they're dead or knocked out, because Spider-Man doesn't kill anybody.
No.
But yeah, I can see it.
He's
I can
got
see what you're saying.
Concussed people all over New York.
Right.
And there's big groggy bad guys everywhere. It's going, well, what the fuck?
But like, I know, I think some of the Spider-Man games from PlayStation 2 had like, you find special items or secrets or whatever, and then you get certain things.
Yep.
But like, in this one, it kind of feels like they took a play out of Batman's book, because it's like, oh hey, find all, like, this bad guy left a bunch of shit around the city and you got to find him, or oh hey, this bad guy left bombs around the city and you got to destroy these bombs, and oh, hey, I left some backpacks around and there's some special shit in there that really doesn't mean shit to you, but hey, go get it.
Yeah, no, I get you. I mean, yeah, like Cal says, the PS2 Spider-Man, that's probably the go-to comparison I would compare all Spider-Man games to. I mean, I know that the kind of string mechanics were dealt with the guys that do Sunset Overdrive, which in itself was a very underrated game, and the jump mechanics in that were brilliant. So I was happy that they kind of looked after it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really up for playing the game. I'm just not. It's one of those games where I'm like, I'm either gonna really wish I didn't buy because I've just wasted 40 quid on a game that's just gonna collect dust on my shelf, or I'm just gonna get so into it that everything else can go suck it for a couple of months. And I've got so much. I mean, I've had the Battlefield 5 beta that was just dog shit. I've had the Black Ops, obviously, the last couple of days on PS4, and it's out today on PC, which I'm kind of sad about because it makes PUBG look like an absolute steaming turd. Because
I tried
of how. You tried Black Ops 4?
I tried Black Ops 4, the Battle Royale thing, the early access thing. I don't know what it is, but I can't do Battle Royales. Like, as soon as I land, I die. I'm running around like a chicken with his head cut off, like, where's the gun, where's the gun, where's the gun? And then I find something and somebody kills me.
It's what 90% of the people do. What generally happens is the line that the plane takes, people just jump out there and go straight down. Whereas if you think about it a bit, what you really need to do is kind of go out and then work your way back in, turning the circle as it closes in.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was really skeptical about Black Ops 4 on anything, with the Battle Royale part of it. I knew Black Ops 4 was going to be good. It's just the Battle Royale I was not sure about at all, but I got to tip my hat to them so far, apart from their servers being a bit crappy, but that's just fucking them. It's butter smooth compared to all the other kind of PUBG. We had like 13 months of just laggy bullshit before it even got remotely stable, and the one thing we know COD can do is multiplayer. So and ironically, Battlefield 5 is the worst of the bunch, to be honest with you. It's just like a bolt on from Battlefield 1. That wasn't a bad game. It's actually a really good game. It didn't draw me in. It didn't have that kind of reach that I was kind of looking for. But yeah, no. The other game I've been playing recently was 2 Point Hospital, which I'm still fucking in love with, to be honest with you. I think that game's awesome.
Yeah, it looks pretty good when I watched it.
Yeah, it's fun as fuck. It really is. It's just fun to have a game that's hard, but it's not going to make me want to throw my keyboard out the window.
It felt a lot like Roller Coaster Tycoon a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, essentially it is. It essentially is. It's just I'd kind of say it's kind of a merger between those kind of games and Sims, kind of like the graphically and the way that things interact. It's a real fun, but it's really taxing. It does really frustrate you because you want to keep the money up. You want to make sure that you don't it's like when you see people die, you're like, no. you actually invest some time into some of these people, but yeah, it's fun. But yeah, primarily I'm a shooter guy anyway, so I've always been kind of into that. But I do like my kind of. I mean, Scum was another one that kind of it tickled my fancy, and I will go back and play that, but I've got to leave that until the servers settle down because the support for that game's just not there. It's big in Eastern Europe, and I know why. Same as Escape from Tarkov is exactly the same. Russians love it, Polish people love it. The rest of us kind of go, eh. That's about it. So it's what will happen, but hopefully Nixit will get the code that I gave him and download the fucking thing and play.
Yeah, hopefully he will.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Just real quick, I just wanted to say something about Spider-Man. Was that all in all, if you're looking for nostalgia for swinging around in the city, though, it's definitely there. I mean, the swinging is great, and visually, I think it's really cool. I think it looks really good visually. I like the way they develop their characters and the characters' looks. The new all the different costumes you can get if you finish all the stupid side missions are pretty cool. Like they're not just looks, like they can also help you like battle wise and stuff.
Can you customize like the colors of the suit? Can you get like I don't know, like a gold Spidey suit, or is that pretty much it?
There is a gold and black one called the Mach 4, Mach 5 or whatever, but there isn't anywhere you can like personally custom the color.
See, that sucks. I would have done. I mean, I know that people would go, "Oh my god, the canon! You can't mess with his suit."
Yeah.
But you know, it's a fucking game. Just let people. I want a crushed velvet, fucking purple Spider-Man.
Yeah. Hey, DX Games Live. Thanks for commenting on the background. It's pretty cool. I'm here in America, and Musty's in Britain. So.
You know, the guy. You know, we like to accept people to get poisoned. Hello.
But I mean, like, I haven't got all the costumes yet, so maybe there is one where you can like custom choose your different colors. But I really doubt it. That would be
so cool if you could, though.
That would be cool. They have the Homecoming Spider-Man and the Iron Spider, and
I'd like it like almost like Second Son, where you could choose to be evil Spider-Man.
Yeah, see, like that would be cool. Like, which they kind of did with Spider-Man 3, if it wasn't so terrible. But where like the symbiote suit,
yeah,
you can play towards the evil side, or you can play towards the good side.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be a really cool option just to have like evil Spidey just go and like fuck up a grandma, like take a purse,
yeah,
slap a baby.
There was what was it called? It was the Amazing Spider-Man or whatever, but it was like cell shaded, and you can play as symbiote Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Man, but you can also play as Venom. And it was really fun to play as Venom, because then you can go down the street and like fold somebody in half and absorb them for power and shit like that. It was really cool. Yeah. They should make something like that again.
I don't know if you played Second Son at all. I actually, it was a very underrated game. I actually really enjoyed playing that. I like the fact that you were constantly kind of battling with your own kind of conscience and what you should do and whether you should help them or go against them. And
yeah, Second Son was
really
actually
cool
the game that came with my PlayStation 4.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually really did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of people didn't enjoy it, but I thought it was a lot of fun, that game.
I thought it was really good. Yeah, I definitely liked how like you could choose what graffiti you wanted to put up, whether it was like a positive message or intimidating message, and I really enjoyed the different like logos you can get on the back of your jacket. Yeah, I really liked it.
It was a cool little game, that. But yeah, no, it's the thing. I recently got Origin Premier, which means I get like full access to like games, any kind of Assassin's Creed, FIFA, obviously Battlefield and stuff like that. But I'm not feeling it at the moment. I only really got it for the beta with Battlefield, but I just don't think. I mean, it's like 15 quid, so they say like what, $20 a month. But you get literally like every AAA title the day it comes out, top spec and this, that, and the other. But I don't know. Everything's gonna go that route eventually. I mean, you're seeing that with Xbox now, with Games Pass and stuff like that. But
yeah, it's like the Spotify and Apple Music way, where like you pay $10-$20 a month and you can get whatever new games comes out.
And I like that for AAA titles. I don't have a problem with that, but I think that the people that would suffer would be kind of the indie side of it, because they get absorbed by companies all the time and they get pittances as it is, but it's only going to get worse if everyone's if you have like the Spotify method of the way they pay artists. It's just gonna it's gonna fucking suck for them. But
do you think we'll have like another Metallica thing happen?
Yeah,
or they sue everyone
up on people's door. Well, EA, there was a weird thing. The No, which is an element, they're a news branch of Rooster Teeth, because EA essentially are fighting. Basically, at the moment, loot boxes with EA have been banned in Brussels and the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot the way they've got around it, or the way other companies have got around it, is when you go to buy a loot box, it tells you what's in that loot box, so you can choose whether you want to buy that or whether you don't. So you kind of get it with Overwatch. Sometimes it'll say you might get items like this, but in but it's more specific. It says this is actually what's in this loot box. You can either have it or you don't have to have it. But EA are fighting against it, and they're going to court over this, and they're risking a lot actually, because if they fail, they could end up on criminal charges because it's been deemed as illegal. It's an illegal form of gambling, and especially around children. But the No did a news segment about it, and EA fucking copystroke and took it down in its entirety, blackballed the whole fucking thing. So they're being real. I mean, they've lost so much face over Battlefront and the way they do things. I mean, Battlefront 2 is a shame because I love Star Wars and I love Star Wars games, but that left such a bad taste in my mouth that I really couldn't even bring myself to play that game, to be honest with you. And I bought it. I bought it day one, so it's just.
Have you seen that Thanos meme?
Thanos
with the battlefield, Star Wars Battlefield.
It's funny. The memes around that are always fucking funny. I mean, I feel sorry for EA employees. I really do. But yeah. I mean, what's? I mean, obviously you've been playing Spider-Man and you enjoyed Detroit, didn't you, as well?
Yeah, I really love Detroit. I love those games like Heavy Rain and Indigo Prophecy and.
Heavy Rain's a fucking awesome.
Beyond Two Souls, I think.
Yeah.
I really like those games.
Are there any games that you're kind of looking forward to that are coming out soonish?
Well, obviously, Red Dead Redemption 2 in October.
Yeah.
And
October's going to be an expensive month. Shit.
It is going to be expensive.
You got Black Ops.
Yeah.
I mean, Battlefield has been put back, but I'll be getting that anyway. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2, that's the day one for me. Absolutely day one. Even though I don't agree with Rockstar's selling of the game, the way that they're bundling things together, I don't agree with at all, but it's Rockstar. What the fuck are you going to do? You can't turn the game down.
Well, I love how, like, Rockstar is kind of, like, avoiding the whole, like, remaking a new Grand Theft Auto with just doing these, like, Grand Theft Auto, bank robberies online, like dance clubs and shit. Like they're just expansions for the online package.
I think what they're doing is, I mean, they're doing it smart. I mean, number one, they don't really need to.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to make another Grand Theft Auto at this current moment in time because, I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 has made more money than any video game in history. And it's going to take a long time for that to be beaten. But I think what they're doing is it's like an extended beta for the online. Because, I mean, I must admit, Grand Theft Auto, the online is not the greatest. It's not stable. It's buggy as fuck. And I think what they're doing is they're just... I mean, because Rockstar, they're notorious for taking their sweet-ass time when it comes to game development anyway.
Right.
So I think you could be looking at another 5-6 years before you even see another GTA game hit the shelves. I really do. I don't think they're in any need to go back to that. I mean, I guarantee you that it's in development now, but I don't think they're anywhere near release at all.
I mean, like, I can't remember when the last one came out. It was like probably close to 6 to 7 years ago.
It was 2012, I think it was. GTA 5 release. Let me have a look. 2013, so it's September 2013. So yeah, 5 years ago.
Yeah,
literally to the day. Literally to the day is 5 years ago.
Wow.
How about that, eh?
Yeah,
but
that's crazy.
I mean, it's not. I mean, I remember I was furious with that game because when online, because online was supposed to be their day one,
right?
And then they went, no, that's not going to work. And then they finally did release it, and it took like 30 minutes to load into the fucking world. It took forever.
And then it didn't even have everything they promised from day one. Like, because they promised bank heist from day one and didn't even have that.
I mean, they're still playing catch up with it, but it's a lot better than it was, but it's still nowhere near where it needs to be. And unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be for a long time because it's too dependent on everyone's connections and server regions. And I think it's almost a couple of years ahead of its time when kind of 5G comes out and gets rolled out, and then you get super speed internet, because we're having 300 megabyte connection trials in the UK at the moment, which is going to be a game changer because it's like 300 up, 300 down. So it's like it's just going to be disgusting how good your ping's going to be. Everyone's going to be on like 5 ping. Fortnite's going to be terrible because everyone's going to be killers overnight. Everyone's going to be savages overnight. but yeah, no, it's until that catches up. Because I mean, a friend of mine who I was actually going to give one of the Black Ops 4 codes to. He lives in central London, and his maximum download speed is 3 megabytes. 3.
Just 3?
Because of the state of because we have such old copper wiring here. It can't handle even normal broadband, let alone super speed broadband. It's nowhere near it. We don't have the fiber. So a lot of central London is really shitty. In actual fact, a lot of people have it done by satellite. They have like satellite internet, which is not great for gaming, but it's better than nothing. So
yeah, it's better than what you have. I mean, where I live, we just now switched to fiber. And like maybe what was it, like 5-6 years ago, we were all on like copper or whatever wire, but where I'm at here in like the Midwest, it's mostly just country, like fields.
Yeah.
So like they were advertising satellite like it was the best thing that could ever happen to us. It was like, like you guys tired of your farmers dating website not loading up and fast enough?
Are you tired of writing letters?
Yeah. You're tired of doing smoke signals? My arms are tired.
Are you tired of learning semaphore? It's just like all that kind of. It's the old like when you used to send the wire throughs, all the beep 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 beep. It's just I can imagine. I mean, America's a big fucking country, so internet must be an utter horror story in some parts.
If you're not in like a major metropolitan area, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's like you can barely load your Alex Jones channel.
Yeah,
it's like shit. It's just like you get to him ranting and it just says buffering. He's like, you see this like red-faced Alex Jones.
It's like the middle of him going and it's buffering like for 30 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you actually. Complete change of subject. But what do you think of him essentially being deplatformed in the sense of the private companies that where free speech doesn't technically apply, saying no more crazy bastard, and him essentially having to go back to 1996 where everyone had to have their own websites?
Honestly, I think it's hilarious because the shit that guy says is just so it's asinine and out of this world.
Well, this is the thing that gets me, because I get that he does talk about, and he has been right about certain things. No one can deny that Alex Jones, on occasion, has got part of something right.
Like he's got like one of the clues.
Yes. However, I say it's favorite. It's a terrible thing to say because whenever there's like a terrorist attack or there's like a shooting or a major world event, shall we say, there are 3 things I immediately do. I go make a tea, I put on my computer, and I watch InfoWars, because I can guarantee you he will throw 100 conspiracies at you because he knows one will kind of stick. And the one that pops into my head immediately is the Boston bombing, because I watched that shit live. He was saying that it was I can't remember the name of the group now, that kind of private the one that Mercer is it Roy Mercer, or he heads up this private army that Trump actually is interested in hiring as like a contractor to go and deal with shit that he wants doing, like killing dictators. But basically they wear these Punisher hats. The Punisher symbol is kind of their thing. And there are people seeing, is it Kraftwerk or Kraft, something Kraft anyway. And they were seen wearing these hats around it. And he was like, yep, it's an inside job. It's a planned, it's a false flag, deep state, New World Order operation. Hillary Clinton is behind all of it. And then he said that he had confirmed pictures of the bombing, of the bomber, didn't have the correct pictures at all.
Yeah.
And then, like, the next day, and he literally talks like none of that happened. Like, all the stuff that was completely 100% provably wrong, Like, no.
Yeah,
It was just they
he's like
messed with the
trumping
feed,
away.
they changed it. Yeah,
He's
no,
like,
absolutely.
I didn't say that. That never happened.
And isn't it funny that Trump actually was on his show literally just before he got elected?
That is pretty funny, actually.
It is. It's funny that because he was like, we're not going to let you down. You'll be able to speak to me whenever you like. I'll be a regular on the show. And it's like, how's that working out for you?
He's never been on the show since.
It's like the only thing that Alex Jones can be on right now is MySpace.
Yeah, and his website
and
he made
WhatsApp.
when he was like in kindergarten in like 1984.
Well, I met my wife on MySpace in actual fact, so it has a very special place in my heart. But it was just you gotta move with the times, man. You gotta move with the times.
Yeah.
What's
up with MySpace now? Because like last time I saw it, it was just like a place for bands to post stuff.
Yeah,
now.
it's essentially what it was. I mean, it essentially got taken over by that. I mean, I left MySpace a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish I hadn't, because I know that some people could recover their old MySpace page, and I'd love to, because I remember spending hours and hours with my HTML getting my profile the right color,
right,
and the right shade of pink, and I had pink and grey on my site, and the right list of bands, because I wanted to seem cool.
Uh-huh.
My favorite movies and shit like that. It's just, I'd love to see how pathetic I was back then.
Right, mine was just like a bunch of like music videos that were like sad and depressing because I was a little emo. I was like,
yeah, no, I went through that phase as well.
Blink 182, I miss you, and blah blah blah, and shit like that.
What was that fucking that bald guy with the guitar that was friends with Limp Bizkit? What the fuck? Saddest song ever. I can't remember. You're on the outside.
Oh, is that Stained?
Stained. That's it.
Yeah.
Just like the dreariest shit imaginable. It's like the CD comes with a razor blade. It's that bad. Yeah. Warning. Please contact an adult. But yeah, MySpace was a funny one, and it was huge. I mean, it was massive, so popular. In that kind of blog, because it was kind of a mixture of like message boards and blogs and just the chat, because chat rooms. Remember when chat rooms were outlawed? I remember that.
Yeah.
I used to love going into MSN chat and all that sort of stuff, and ICQ and stuff like that. And then it all kind of hit the fan, and they all got shit canned, and it was like, oh, what next? MySpace. Yeah. And then it's like Facebook. I mean, I came off Facebook, God, 4 months ago now.
Oh yeah.
I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take the fucking sadness of it. I guarantee it made me angry. It didn't make me happy. I didn't enjoy knowing what my friends had for dinner. I didn't enjoy knowing what their offspring looked like at 12:03 in the park.
Yeah.
I didn't want to know that they didn't like the fact that someone in their area, I don't know, left some rubbish out or fucking played their music too loud. It's just like, I prefer, because all that made me not want to do is talk to people, because I know all your shit. If I know your shit at any given moment within a second's notice, what am I going to talk to you about? I'm just like,
right. I mean, I still have my
Nick.
Facebook, but it's really nothing but a fucking commercial breeding ground. I don't even see anything from my friends anymore. It's just any notification I get from Facebook is, oh, hey, there's this advertisement, or hey, there's this group who are selling something. And it's like, ugh. I'm almost to the point where I want to just like uninstall it from my phone.
Yeah, that's how I started. I started by uninstalling it from my phone, and then I went the whole hog and was like, fuck it. Don't puke, Nix. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Tension's that high. Oof.
Or however, you do need to reply to my messages, because I'm about to jump on a flight and kick you in the balls.
Yeah.
So,
reply to our messages.
But yeah, no, Facebook just, and I'm 3 months removed from Facebook, and my life is it's not like I feel like there's an empty void.
Oh yeah.
In my life, I don't like sit there weeping into a cushion, going, Facebook, I miss you. And the same can be said for Instagram. I mean, Instagram, I was at and it's going to sound really pretentious, but I was at an organic food fair
Oh yeah.
I'll let that sink in for a second. And I was waiting to go on a Ferris wheel with one of my kids, and I was watching these two girls, and she was like holding a bottle to her lips and holding the peace sign, like, this is my best life. And
Yeah.
the friend was taking the picture, and she took a picture and she looked at it and she went, no, I'm back. And I shit you not, she must have taken 30 pictures.
Wow.
I shit you not. It's and,
like the
and
same
that's what
thing.
yeah, because she wanted to get the perfect picture. It was like no other picture will do other than the perfect picture. And I think that's really sad. Because
Yeah.
imagine what you could achieve in those 2-3 minutes that you weren't stood there like a complete bellend,
Yeah.
having your friend take a picture of you just to get the right fucking shade across your face. And then you're going to put a filter on and go, oh, just here at the show, kiss, kiss.
Yeah.
And it's just like, when I take a picture, I take a picture. And I mean, my wife used to say it to me all the time. She'd go, what the fuck is that face about? And I'm just like, it's my face. I don't have any choice in this. This is just my face.
This is what I got.
But that's how everyone should be. It shouldn't be like, that's not good enough. I need to make sure I need to get my good side. It's like, it's just your side. Just get the fuck over it. You're not gonna. It's not like the man of your dreams is gonna look at your picture and go, well, she could have taken a better one, so I'm gonna move on.
Well, she didn't use the right filter on this one.
Exactly. And that's the thing as well. This whole hashtag no filter bullshit that I keep seeing everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're not wearing a filter. Whoop de fucking do. You do that every day when you walk outside your house.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. But
yeah, because that's the thing that I didn't get either. Is like, like people want to go and have like all like 3 to 4 different filters on their pictures and stuff, and it's like, how do you think people are gonna feel or like think when they see you in real life and they're like, oh wait, you're not that good looking. Oh
yeah,
there isn't this beautiful haze around you.
Exactly, yeah. Because where's this this Gaussian blur that I usually see in your pictures? Why isn't a cloud following you around, giving you that perfect distillment between you and the sun?
Yeah, where's your fucking dog ears? Like, what the fuck?
Do you know what that to me is the single? Because I almost hope there's a world event where we all get wiped out.
Yeah.
Obviously not when we're alive. In the future. And then thousands of years or hundreds of years from now, there'll be an archaeologist who'll be digging through the rubble, and they'll find a phone, and they'll be like, oh shit, what's this? These must be their primitive communication devices. And then they'll manage to turn it on, and they'll go, well, let's see what they were doing. And they'll just see this stupid girl with dog ears going, hi, we're at the beach, and like, hi everyone, and just hashtag no filter. And it's like, oh god, and they'll just turn the phone off and go, yep, that's why they died.
Yeah.
Too stupid.
Essentially that will intelligence.
No, it is. We'll have like a meteor will hit, all the sun, all the lights will go off, and it'll be like, well, how does that work? I don't know. Right shit.
Yeah.
Or how do we work this shit out? Well, we can look on YouTube. Oh no, the internet's down. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
It's just
we're gonna have like a solar flare that's gonna take out everything, right? And in that moment, the solar flare is coming, and there's some girl like raising her phone above her head, trying to get the perfect shot. She's like, "The lighting. What's with the lighting? Why is it so bright out here?"
I almost would love to see like a girl like hold like you see like a something coming towards the planet, and she's like holding the phone up, going, "Look, I'm here," and it's getting brighter and brighter. It goes, "Oh my god, I look amazing!" And it's like a meteorite just hurtling towards her. Just as she gets the perfect snapshot, she's literally melted into like a 10,000 degree puddle. Those are the things I dream about.
Yeah.
I literally do. You never think? Do you never stood there sometimes and you're like looking at somebody and you're just imagining the various ways you'd like to kill them?
Yeah.
Or the various ways you'd like to see like a piano drop on their head, or like fall into a wood chipper.
Sometimes.
It's just me.
Sometimes. I've been in like it's almost like weird and awkward for me just being in a room full of like people, or like being in a room with somebody who's like so focused on getting that right picture. It's so weird and awkward for me just to watch that. Like I'm almost ashamed to be in the same room.
I love it. I feel like I'm in like a zoo. It's
Yeah.
like, and I especially love it when there's a couple. So you have like the wife who's trying to get I actually saw it in action. I was on a train. There was a woman that was getting her husband to be the cameraman, and you could just see the life drain from this guy's face. And she was like, "Nope, take it again. Nope, take it again. Nope, take it again." And it's just like, my wife would never do that because I mean, number one, she's stunningly beautiful anyway, but she just isn't that type of person. She'd take a picture and just like, yeah, that's cool. I mean, she might take a second one if it's like shaky or anything, but anyone
Yeah.
would do that. But generally, she's just like, yeah, that'll do. I mean, because literally, I think if she was ever like that, I think I'd end up tossing the phone at her and just be like, nope, or putting it in like my orange juice or something. It's like, no,
Yeah.
not having that.
No, I'm
And
always
I-
like, this one was good. I'm not doing it anymore. Get the fuck out of here.
It's like like I said, I was combing my beard just as we were about to go on because I took a selfie of myself and combed my mustache because my mustache was a little bit out, but I still posted the picture.
Yeah.
I didn't care that much. I just thought, oh, I could do with combing my beard. Still sent the shit off
Yeah.
because what the fuck else? What? Who cares? Someone's not going to look at it and go, well, his hair's out of place. I'm not watching that shit. He doesn't take care of himself.
Right. Can you imagine like somebody dying and like they got what the person deemed as their best picture and it's like one with like 30 filters and dog ears and shit, and that's the big framed picture of them behind the casket. Like you can't even see their whole face because it's covered by a dog filter, but it's like,
I guarantee you that's going to happen one day. You're going to have like a filter frame that will go over the coffin that will show like the corpse in its best light. It will have like a blur so their skin looks perfectly even, and it'll just be like no touching the body, no touching the body. And or you could change the filter. So you go, oh, I want to see what this corpse looked like from yesteryear and have like a sepia
yeah.
filter that you just turn on and just go, oh, that's what grandma looked like in the 20s.
Yeah.
Next. Now I want to see what she looks like with dog ears. Click.
Yeah.
Everything-
Every funeral will just be a closed casket, and it'll just be like a QR code. And then like just a photo album of them with a bunch of filters.
The QR code will be on the coffin. You're scanning it and you go, you're at Ethel's funeral.
Yeah.
Tag yourself. Who else is here?
Yeah.
Hashtag RIP. Oh, fuck me.
Don't forget to log in on Facebook to let everyone know where you're at.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Granny.
That's
so
what's gonna
sad, but
happen.
It's so fucking true. It's gonna happen. It really is gonna happen.
It is.
You're gonna have like it's gonna be like you're gonna have like YouTube pranksters turning up at like funeral homes and like going, "Come on, Granny, let's go for a ride," and like dragging her out of the funeral home. Just a prank. Like and subscribe. You literally see it now. It's because I do wonder about my children because I mean I've got a 7, a 12, and an 11-year-old, and I'm so careful about what they consume on YouTube. In actual fact, I wanted to run something past you because I've got one of my kids is watching this YouTube channel, and he's obviously aimed at kids. So I'd say 10 years upwards. I would say is his kind of demographic.
Okay.
And he's called Chad Clay, Will Chad Clay or something, some shit like that. But essentially, he demonstrates weapons like knives, hammers, ninja weapons, throwing stars
For children.
swords, for children. And he not only that, he has paid advertising for knife stores. And these knives are like, he had one where he was like real X-Men. And he had like proper claws, sharpened claws. And he was like chopping watermelons and shit like that. And then going, don't forget kids, click here to get 10% off at Knife Store US or some shit like that. And I'm sitting there going, not sure if I'm happy with
Yeah, that
this.
sounds terrible.
But there's so many channels like that, and this guy has like 4 million subscribers. Every single video he has like 3, 4, 5 million hits on it, and people go on about how like the African American community is responsible for the rise in like knife crime and gun crime and this, that, and the other. And yet I'm watching all these middle class suburban white kids like testing out throwing stars and getting their kids 10% off to go and buy it themselves. I'm just like,
That's crazy.
I'm missing a beat here.
Yeah.
I was almost tempted to make a video about it because I was like, shit, I wonder if people know about this.
That is, my kid has the YouTube Kids app on his tablet.
Oh my god, that thing's poison.
It is poison. Like I thought I allowed him to have it because I thought it was like actual like things kids that are susceptible for kids to watch.
Yeah.
But like it's nothing but like pedophiles and like
Yeah.
and
I mean, it's like if you look at the comments on those videos, it is truly haunting, the stuff that you see people write on there.
right.
And even there's these groups that they've developed these videos of like Spider-Man pooping on
Elsa.
Ariella, Elsa
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And it's just like, how? I mean, for YouTube are so on it with certain things, they'll cut a load of creators off and stop their revenue flow like that.
Mhm.
But when it comes to videos that generate millions and millions of views that are questionable, and like there seems to be this trend now where family friendly channels will dress their kids up like babies and get them to like wear diapers and put dummies in their mouth and like really act, not like play pretend you're being a baby, like actually role playing being a baby.
Yeah.
And it's big business, it's huge.
That's weird.
Have a good dinner, buddy.
Yeah, have a good dinner.
Love to you both.
That because like there's one channel that I found on the kids app where it was like it was a grown man, but you never see the grown man, you only see his hands. But every
I've seen him, yeah.
every episode is geared towards him like changing a different doll's diaper
Yeah.
and giving it a shot. And like just the way he like would handle the doll and shit, it was very sexual. And I'm like, how is this here? And like then I started paying attention to him, and there's like the unboxing toy channels and shit. It's just like grown people like fondling fucking toys, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? No, you can't watch this stuff anymore. Like this tablet is now, you can't touch it.
I know, it's crazy. I mean, there's so many channels that because I'm a bit more, because I used to work at Vodafone in the UK, which is like a huge telecommunications company, and I used to I was part of a team that when video calls used to be in its infancy, when 3G was becoming a thing, and what used to happen is you would take a picture or make a video, and then you couldn't directly send it to anybody. You could just send them a web link to view it.
Mm-hmm.
And what we had to do is we had to check randomly videos and pictures for kind of sexual or paedophilic content, and we saw tons of really fucked up stuff. But so I've always been very careful around my kids with kind of what they watch and how they watch and the algorithms and so on and so forth. But even I could not believe the amount of sexual innuendo and suggestive play that kids are subjected to. I mean it's partly fault of parents, and I'm susceptible to that as well. I don't mind saying it. All parents are like it, where you'll use a tablet or something as kind of a shut up tool, just like, look,
Yeah.
I'm busy, I need to get this shit done, just watch this, and you will get handed the tablet. But I now make sure that even if I'm not there in the well, no, I'm always around, but I have like monitors, so I'll get like sent like monthly audits of like what they've watched, how much they've watched, so on and so forth. And I pay really, really close attention to it because there's so much shit out there that's just disgusting. And how Google can justify, there is no justification for allowing that shit to slide at all. It's quite easy to sift through that shit, because if I can find it without too much trouble, how the fuck can you not find it? So,
Right.
and you own the platform, so it doesn't take much for you to filter that crap out. It's just that you don't want to lose the ad revenue for it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the unfortunate truth. And it's terrible to know, and that's why I almost agree with people that are calling for things like Google and Facebook and to be almost like a utility, so that they're actually under far more stringent control, because there's so many outs that telecommunications companies have and social platform companies have. Say, well, we have to keep the internet free and open, and I'm with you on that. But when you're inviting abuse into people's homes, then yeah, that you got to draw the line somewhere. You really have.
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy how like those videos, like they have like top companies like advertising like before and after them. Like like I've seen one where like fucking Coca-Cola had like a fucking advertisement right before it, and
Yeah.
like Bose Air like fucking engineering and shit like that. It's
Because it's the age old thing. What happens is in boardrooms, and it's the pharmaceutical industry that really brought this to the forefront. But essentially, what happens is when they come up with, well, we use the pharmaceutical company as the best kind of example, but it works in any sort of branding. Essentially, what happens is when a drug comes to market, what they do is they look at what's the potential earnings, and then they look at the potential fallout from lawsuits. So if a pill helps cure, I don't know, it helps with diabetes, but it then causes a side effect is strokes, they'll look at within their test group how many people died of a stroke. They'll ramp that up to say like its maximum depth and say, well, actually, how much would we have to pay out to all these people if they died? And if it's lower than the profit that they would make, they roll the pill out anyway, or they roll out the actual the drug out there. And exactly the same happens within marketing. What they'll do is they'll look at a situation and say, well, we can earn X amount of revenue from this, but we could get some negative press. If the negative press doesn't outweigh the profit, they'll still go ahead with it.
This is crazy.
It is. It's the unfortunate way of the road, for want of a better description. And it's the way that everything kind of works. This is why we have so many problems with things like healthcare, because healthcare has now been turned into a commodity. It's been turned. You don't earn money from well people. You earn money from sick people. So if there's a profit margin there, what are they going to do? Are they going to choose to cure everyone, or are they going to choose to keep you sick?
Keep you sick.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
Because it helps their bottom line. If you have a private prison that earns money from every prisoner that's in that prison, are they going to let everyone out and rehabilitate everyone and make damn sure that everyone's a model citizen that's been rehabilitated to the best degree possible and taken off drugs and had their lives changed around? Or are they going to hope and pray that that person comes back because they can earn more money or keep them in prison? They're going to choose the money every single time. And this is why corporatism or crony capitalism can never work, because this is what we're living in. That we're living proof of that now. We have social standards or socialist standards to certain degrees, but we have an overruling class of corporatists that want to make as much money for themselves as possible, because they know that it will not last forever. The bottom will fall out of this. It's just going to take a lot of people being hurt and killed before that will ever happen. But there's a cheery thought for you.
Not very cheery at all. All right. Well,
I think about the most.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions out there? Or do you have any more questions for me, Musty? Otherwise, gonna be cutting it here pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, are there any conspiracy theories that have crossed your path that you're kind of into at the moment? Is there anything that's kind of crossed your tinfoil hat?
Yeah, I've been watching. There's a new conspiracy show on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
That just like recently popped up, but it like I talked about it in the last episode about how like there's an episode about did Hitler really commit suicide, or did he like run away to Costa Rica or Antarctica or whatever? There was another episode where one of the kings for Britain, I think he was from Germany or whatever, but like he was like feeding Hitler information until he got caught.
He was. It's King Henry.
Yeah, and then he like stepped down and then became like ahead of like for the Nazis.
Yeah, he abdicated the throne. Yeah, it was. It's an unfortunate blip. But then our royal family originates in Germany anyway, so it can't be. It can't be that much. I mean, like I was saying, 'cause I watched the podcast you did with that, and like I commented, we actually liked Hitler. Our
Yeah,
press loved Hitler until um, he kind of started killing Jews.
yeah,
Or should I say, it became apparent that he was killing Jews because there are papers now. The biggest paper in this country, which is the Daily Mail or the Daily Fail, as we like to call it, the people that don't like it. But there's a very famous headline calling him like a hero, and even when the war was kicking off, they loved him, absolutely loved him. Um, and we even had a person a guy called Enoch Powell, who was a very big politician in this country that modelled himself after Hitler, and he was hugely popular, hugely popular. So yeah, we loved our right wing dictators, we really did.
yeah. I mean, if you put the Jews killing the Jews and the all the bad stuff, he really did like bring Germany out from a bad place. You know.
Oh, he as a motivational catalyst, he was incredible. He was an incredible speaker. He was
Hmm.
I mean, you don't even need to know German and hear him speak, and it's hard not to go wow, because he had such fire and brimstone, and was so eloquent in what he said, and was very. He took a country that was sanctioned to hell and back after the First World War with Rommel, um, that were basically turned Germany into a third world country, and was an economic collapse and famine and X, Y, and Z, and Hitler took that and ran with it, and he was hugely popular in Germany, and a lot of Germans will tell you now, oh, he wasn't that popular. He was.
Yeah.
There's no if buts or maybes, and to be honest with you, I couldn't say if I lived in that day and age that I wouldn't think the same way, because you just can't tell, because obviously we know the information now, but it was impossible to know all the information back then. You were just kind of told, and that was
Hmm.
it. You believed it. So kind of propaganda was king. I mean, it still is to a certain degree, even with all the fucking information. So just imagine what it would have been like with no CNN or NBC or whoever saying, well, actually, we fact checked that and you're actually full of shit. But it's just a fact, unfortunately. And he was a very popular figure. And I mean, how can a guy still be popular to this day? And we know he killed 8 million plus people.
Yeah.
That just shows you how, like him or loathe him, and I hope everyone loathes him, but he was a charismatic motherfucker. He really was.
Yeah.
And the same can be said to Trump. Trump is a charismatic person, whether you use that in a positive light or a negative light. I am fascinated by him. It's just a nightmare of fascination. It's not. I'm not fascinated going, my God, that guy's amazing. It's just like, how is he doing this? But obviously,
Yeah.
he strikes a chord. He talks within the syllable range of a lot of Americans, unfortunately.
I think a lot of Americans still are like they still have like the what's it called, the curtain over their eyes or whatever with him,
Well,
like
I think they're just at this point now where they've backed him so far. They kind of just close their eyes and go, "Fuck it, let's just see, let's see
yeah,
what happens."
it's like we can't turn back now, we're gonna look weak.
Yeah,
Can't
we're
look
clearly one of them
weak.
snowflake pussies.
We're Americans, we can't look weak.
Yeah,
No,
but,
I think a lot of them
that's totally
were.
true.
A lot of them thought that they were like, if we elect Trump president, he's gonna put like $1 million in my bank account the next day.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought he was gonna bring the country. He's gonna pull us out of the country's debt, and we're all gonna make money and live in our own Trump towers.
Well, it's like I had a conversation. There was a friend of mine who's a massive Trump supporter, until recently, and he was telling me about how successful Donald Trump was, and I kind of went, okay, so would you take economic advice from somebody who has been bankrupt? Let's just say once. I mean, he's been bankrupt 6 times, but let's just say once. Would you trust someone who has been bankrupted by the federal government, and he's telling you what to do with your money? Would you trust that? And he goes, yeah, but he's been a success. I went, well, do you owe any money? He went, yes. He said, well, why the fuck would I listen to you about what I should do with my money or
Right.
what he should do with his money? He goes, at the end of the day, if he can't string a sentence together, then how is he supposed to fill out a tax return? I've seen a tax return and they're fucking horrible. I couldn't imagine him filling one out in a million years. I would hazard a guess that he would need to do it in rough just to get his name right. That's how ridiculously inept this person is as a human being. So, but I get what you mean. A lot of Americans do. Because they were left out of this whole election cycle. They're just kind of, well, you're just the middle of America guys. You're just the blue collar guys. We need the minorities, and we need the women, and we need it shows in polling that the black vote is worth this, and the brown vote is worth this, and the gay vote is worth this. So that's what we're going to go for. When in actual fact, the word minority still exists. So the vast swathes of middle America that can't relate to that went, hang on a minute. What the fuck are we doing here? Let's just shake this shit up. And I don't think they just realized how much it was going to get shaken, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
But we'll see if he makes it into a second term.
It's almost like taking, to go back about like your friend, it's almost like getting weight loss advice from a fat person.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
He'd be like me saying, going, do you know what? I think you can stand to lose a few pounds. And then
Right.
you look at me and go, motherfucker, you're 20 plus stone yourself. Even though I have lost a lot of weight, I'm still a big guy. And I wouldn't take advice from me. I'd look you up and down and go, well, you're not really preaching to the choir there, are you?
Right. Like there's a lot of nutritionists here in America who can stand a few pounds, and it's like, you're telling me how to eat. Okay.
We have it here. I was sat down with a woman that was she was so big that she couldn't fit in the chair to tell me about how big I was and how I needed to lose weight. And I was just kind of sat there going, really? Are we really going to have this conversation? I'm pretty sure I'm healthier than you.
Yeah.
And you're the one telling me how to live. I'm like, yeah. But yeah, no, I totally get it. I think it's very, very true. I just think it's going to be interesting. I almost wish I could fast forward 10 years just to have a sneaky peek and see what the history books say. I don't think it's going to end well. I think you're going to have to drag that man out. You might have to lose the desk in the actual White House just because that's what he's going to be clinging on to. You're going to have to literally drag him out.
He'll take that desk.
I will look forward to that day though.
Yeah. Like, how much? I have my checkbook right here. How much you want for the desk?
We can make it go away. I just want that. And can we make like my apartment look like the White House so I can still do videos from there?
Can we change the penthouse of the Trump Tower to look like the White Office, like the office in the White House?
I would not put it past that fucker.
He'd probably have like his own like camera crews and cameras in there too, just in case.
I almost guarantee at some point he's gone, so can we get Trump put across the top of the White House? How can we get that done? Come on. Who do I need to speak to today? Well, we can't do that, Mr. President. Why not? Why can't I do that? I'm the president. I can do whatever I like.
Like the front gate, it's Trump House.
Yeah, it would be so fucking. It'd be so fucking funny.
Yeah.
He'd even have like you'd have like one of those pressure pads. So every time you walk past the White House, you'd have like a fanfare would start up and like glitter would pop out of the tea and fucking.
Yeah. And the gold will shimmer brighter across the sign.
The brightest gold you've ever seen in your life. What the thing is, I would love to know what Trump would designate as mediocre, because everything he ever talks about is the greatest, the best, the biggest, the most stupendous, the best that's ever been seen. It's an A+, A-star, 5-star. It's just like I would love to hear him just go, it was okay.
Yeah.
I'd give myself a C-.
Yeah,
everyone's just like, oh, thank God, he's human.
Maybe this hurricane because this hurricane here, he's like, it's gonna be tremendously wet. Maybe after it goes by, it goes, it wasn't as good.
It wasn't. It was 20% less wet than we thought.
Yeah. What was the one? It was in Cuba or Puerto Rico or whatever that like he's denying the deaths.
Oh yeah, he basically he was interviewed in the outside the White House, and they were talking about the incoming hurricane is now hitting the Carolinas, and he goes, well, We did great things in Texas. We gave ourselves an A+ on that. And he goes, and Puerto Rico was really the unsung hero. He goes, I give myself an A+ on that as well. And I'm just stood there going, there's a report that came out literally a week ago that said that the death toll from the Puerto Rican hurricane has gone up from 60 to 3,000. And the direct result of that was because FEMA couldn't get on the ground fast enough. No one knew what they were doing. There weren't enough heads involved in the game. And the president wasn't fast enough in giving recovery aid. So you look at that and you kind of go, well, that's a little bit insulting for all those. And bear in mind, I keep having to remind people, they are Americans. They have American passports. They are classified as citizens. They pay their taxes and everything else. So American citizens, 3,000 people died in the Trade Center tower atrocity. So you literally have that happen on your watch, and you say that the effort was A+. Imagine if Giuliani had come out after 9/11 and said, I think it was the 9/11 attack was the unsung hero of terrorist attacks. I think I'll give ourselves an A+. And you've got 3,000 dead Americans.
Yeah,
it's like that wouldn't float so well.
no.
I mean, not to use that was a bit of a bad pun talking about people that died in a hurricane.
Yeah,
But it's and then he came out on Twitter literally today and denied all of the deaths and said it was a plot by Chuck Schumer and the Democrats to discredit his name. And it's just like, what fucking planet do you live on? But
yeah. He's, like I said, he's an embarrassment.
I don't think he's an embarrassment. I think he's just I think he's the reset that you need. I think he's the Control-Alt-Delete that America is crying out for, where everyone just goes, okay, stop the shit. We need to sort this stuff.
You think he's the Trojan virus that we go, oh, hey, we need to clean this computer up now?
No, I think it really is. Because, I mean, if you think about, really quickly, if you think about gun control, everyone goes on about the Second Amendment.
Right.
And then until the Black Panthers in California started marching around with guns because that's their Second Amendment right.
Right.
It's funny how California has possibly the strictest gun control laws in the entire country now, and that was a direct result because of the Black Panthers. So to be for a comparison, it takes the right type of person for everyone to shake themselves out of the coma and go, oh, that's what we're not supposed to do. Okay, all right, that's fine. Because it will come to it. And I guarantee you, in 10 years' time, people that voted for Trump, stuck up for Trump, and poo-pooed anyone that was against Trump will deny they ever voted for the guy. Because they'll just be like, nope, I saw through him from the start. I didn't believe anything. It will be, because it's just the same as anywhere else. You get these things happen, and everyone kind of, you wonder how he got voted in the first place, because everyone denies ever voting for the fucker in the first place then.
Yeah, but I mean, you can say that about any president that's ever elected. People people vote for them and then later go, "Oh, nope,
it wasn't me.
Nope, wasn't me." When we did that,
he wasn't my guy.
Yeah, we did that with George W. Bush. We did that with Obama. You know.
Yeah, Obama was a big one as well. I mean, that's the thing. Bush, isn't it ironic that now? I mean, I remember Bush single-handedly breathed new life into punk music because people were so pissed off with the things he was doing in Iraq and in wars across the world and the economic shithole that he made before he left office, that all these punk bands suddenly came out of the woodwork and started making albums about him. And there was like the War on Terrorism that Green Day put out and different things. And then now people look back on Bush with like fond memories, like, oh, do you remember when that stupid prick was in office?
Right.
And Bush was dumb, but Bush could talk rings around Trump.
Yeah. It was the same way with Clinton too. People reminisced about him being in office too.
Well, I mean, he was a I mean, don't get me wrong. He actually did a lot of good for your country economically. As an economic president, he was fantastic. He was great. But that's because he was so corporate. It was sickening.
Yeah.
And a lot of people got trampled under his boot in order for him to be that economically successful. So, Yeah, Clinton visited Birmingham, where I'm from, um, back in the day. It was for a G8 summit, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he stayed in a hotel that was literally like 5 minutes walk from my house. And we came out to see him because he played like saxophone in a jazz cafe and drunk beer and like, sexually harassed all the bar staff and
Yeah.
stuff like, he usually did. But he was in this hotel, and I remember because we were stood out on the street and there was a guy in the opposite building that was like hanging out of his window, and he had like a long lens camera. And obviously, and what people don't realize is, because they never really see them, is there's snipers everywhere. Wherever the president is, there are like there's a huge presence of like Secret Service and military and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So literally, from the time I looked over at this guy and saw him, and went, "Oh look, he's got like a really big camera." Within 20 seconds, a black van screeched to a halt outside this guy's apartment building. These guys jumped out, ran into the building, and dragged this guy out of his house into the van, and then he drove off into the distance.
Jeez.
And there was this part of me that went, "You're never going to see that guy again."
Yeah, probably not.
I kept looking, going, "Did he just get black bagged and dumped in the Thames?" I'm like, "What the fuck happened?"
I thought you were gonna be like, and then 20 laser pointers started pointing right at him.
No, it was so bizarre because that's what I expected. I was like, "Oh shit, that guy's going to be in trouble." But no, just this van out of nowhere just screeched, and these like nondescript white dudes bundled him into this van, and it screeched off again. And it was just like, ugh.
Wow.
I was like, "Well, that's the last time I look at anything like that. I'm going inside, and fuck this. It's not safe enough."
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess it's time to cut an end to this.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed you on here, even though we didn't really answer any questions. It was like another podcast episode.
I know, yeah.
I might even just put this on YouTube and put it on SoundCloud.
Fuck it. Why not?
Yeah. It was really entertaining, and I really enjoyed having you.
Anytime, my friend.
Yeah. All right, guys. Podcast is still Sunday, 3 p.m. I think it's going to be the fetish episode.
You do not want to miss that.
No, you don't. And neither do future employers.
Yeah. People will look back on this episode and go, "I remember there was always something dodgy about those two."
Right? They're like, "Oh, yeah. I knew that motherfucker was weird."
We had our suspicions, but Jesus.
Yeah. So join us Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Time here on Twitch. This video is going to be uploaded just like every other podcast episode to YouTube. And we'll also go ahead and put it on SoundCloud, which puts it on our iTunes as well.
Awesome.
Also, really cool announcement. Our merch store is up now. Got a couple t-shirts through Teespring, a mug, posters, stickers, iPhone case if you have an iPhone. They don't have any Android cases for some reason, but yeah, guys, check that out. It's still 10% off until tomorrow, which I'm
when
sure
the 10% gets refreshed again, probably.
So yeah, go check that out. We're still custom making your t-shirt, Musty.
Really?
Yeah, we're.
I can't wait for that.
It's going to be exactly how Nixit described it.
I kind of wish, I hope, when you do send it to me, that but like Border Force like kind of stop it and go, "Let's take a closer look at this," and they just open the box up and then just pull this t-shirt and just look at each other and just go, "Yeah, we're gonna put that back in," and then we'll never speak about this ever again.
Yeah. Don't tell my wife we saw this.
Yeah, this never happened.
Laureline put the link to our merch store into the chat if you guys are still there and want to check that out. Otherwise, I'll probably see you in the chat Sunday. So
absolutely, you will.
That'll be great. Guys, have a beautiful rest of your night. I'm going to go make dinner for my family now. And by make, I mean I'm going to McDonald's. So
that raw burger really did turn you on, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I hope it's still bleeding when I get it.
I'm going to go and play some Black Ops, I think.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. And anytime in the future, if you want to be on the show, just let me know.
Will do.
Thank you so much. We'll see you guys later.